Factor, the post game for round 2, game 1 against Colorado Avalanche.
Woo!
Holy wow! The San Jose Sharks
the Woobirds.
have defeated the Colorado Avalanche in game 1 by a score of 5-2 with an empty net goal there. So
Sounds familiar.
it does sound familiar. 5-2 is a very popular score.
Well, they beat Colorado at the end of the season 5-2. Then they played Vegas in game 1 and beat them 5-2. And then they played them again in game 5 and beat them 5-2. And then game 1, 5-2.
It's 5-2 is a good score.
If you had to bet what the ending score would be of a Sharks game, I would bet 5-2.
Aim for 5-2.
Of a Sharks
Yeah,
win
good.
specifically.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. So yeah, we are here and ready to take all of your comments, questions, concerns, blah 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 blah. blah.
Someone said they can't hear Paul.
Oh, they can't hear me. Okay, I'll check that.
No, you're good. You're good.
I am
All right.
good. Okay. So I don't know why you can't hear me. If you still can't hear me, let us know. And
I can hear them. So
You can
yeah, they're
hear them?
fine. No,
Okay.
someone else said they can hear them.
Very good.
Hello from 7A in Sweden. Worth being up all night. Hello, Pilskid19. Pilskid19.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us from Sweden. That's awesome. I'm sure we have some other Swedish fans. We have a decent amount of followers from Sweden, so we need to learn how to say welcome.
Yeah.
from Swedish.
I thought it was just hey.
Wasn't
Like
it
seriously,
hedge?
I think it's
H-H-J?
H-E-J, but it's pronounced hey.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it H-E-J and then it's pronounced hey? Because I think that's what it was.
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk up more
Yeah,
because you're
maybe.
talking too soft. I think
Am
that's
I?
the problem.
No,
Your
not hearing them.
your voice is a little hoarse.
He's telling me I'm not.
From Game 7.
Yeah, from Game 7, my voice is a little hoarse, but super producer Jason is controlling.
Well, your voice
all
is
the
your voice
levels.
is hoarse, of course, of course.
Cha-ching.
Of course.
Tyler McElroy, $5. Thank you, Tyler. 5-2, our lucky score. That's right. That's our lucky score.
There you go.
That means we're gonna win the series, right?
Gosh, I remember.
Too soon?
Yes, very, very much so. Because I remember game 1's last time. We
Yeah.
were like, man, this is great, this and that, and this and that, blah blah blah, and
It's hedge.
then 2 weeks later.
But you say hey, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Joe.
No, that's fine.
No.
Real quick, somebody actually did mention how many games now have we won that if it's 2 or fewer,
Yeah.
something like 35
Like 34,
games.
35, something
Yeah.
like that, yeah. And again, it's a game where Vlasic was playing the game. So
I think that's more the magic number right
Yeah.
there. 2 goals or fewer.
44 is the
A
magic
little
number.
late.
oh, okay.
But, yeah.
Good. Well, thank you again for that. We do appreciate it. What was I going to say now about the... Oh, yeah. So people saying, oh, yeah, we're going to beat Colorado now, right? Well, let's pump your brakes because didn't Calgary beat Colorado in their first game?
I
They
believe
beat
it was
them.
a 4-0.
And they
4-0.
came back and went 4 straight.
Yep.
So it's
They'll
only game
make-
1.
They'll make adjustments.
Now, remember-
Colorado will make adjustments.
Yes. Remember what I said about... Was that a new one? Oh, cool. $8.
No, I
Is
think
that-
that's
no?
old.
Oh, old one. Okay.
Yeah, don't trust that noise. I'll let you know.
Here comes.
Here
it
we
now.
go. Here's the fake flood of cash. All this stuff. So what did we say? Oh gosh, what was the point I was trying to raise now?
I don't know. I'm not in your head, so
You were talking about
You didn't really start it.
game 1. They're going to adjust and
No, okay.
Take it.
What I said about thank you. Round 1, right? The first series that we had against Vegas.
yep.
So
Whole
anyways-
story,
again,
bro.
Lost it again.
lost it again.
We're live.
We're live. All right. So let me ask you this: has anyone actually heard? I want to relive the past real quick. Has anyone heard other than a upper body injury day to day for
No.
Pavelski?
Just day to day.
No,
Okay,
and
so they're not coming out with saying
No.
anything right now.
No, and they're trying to get it out of DeBoer earlier. I saw some pre-games, or maybe it was from yesterday
Yeah.
in practice.
Yeah.
And they said, "Do you have any update?" And he goes, "I already gave you the update." Like
That he
oh,
has no update. The
Yeah.
update is no
Yeah,
change.
well, he was very sarcastically saying, "I think you guys can figure it out." He didn't want to use the word concussion, but
Yeah.
I think he said, you can figure it out. Yeah.
Right. By the way,
So-
Patrick Cabal chiming in. Yeah, 36-0 with 2 goals or fewer.
Yeah, 36.
36-0. Wow. I mean, that's nuts.
They can put up the goals as long as they're putting up goals. I mean, how do you stop them?
Their depth, you can't stop. They're gonna score.
Yeah.
I mean, even when they lose, they're gonna lose 5-4. not-
Right, right. Well, okay, so I remembered it now. So what I was saying about that first series was I'm expecting the home team to win their games, right? So are we ahead right now? Technically, yes. We're up 1-0. Are we really ahead? No, not really. This is what we're supposed to do, right? Going to Colorado is supposed to win their home games. So even if we go up by 2 games here, it's good and it bodes well for the series. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to jump so far ahead that, hey, we've already got 2 games up on them, because, again, the expectation for me is the home team is meant to win their home games,
Right.
and we'll see how we come out of it. Now, I will say this. I feel like we can win game 2, but I would not be shocked if we didn't, only because their legs have got to be drained. After a double overtime in game 6, super emotional overtime in game 7, coming home, not coming home, but playing again at home. You have a couple days of rest, yes, but then you have to play against a rested Colorado Avalanche team who's young, fast legs. You got to keep up with them. I can see and understand why they might lose a game 2 here. I don't want to look too far ahead, but
I think what helped was that they didn't have to travel.
Yeah,
they had home ice, so they got to rest and stay home. I think that was a big deal.
Yeah,
losing a day of travel. I mean, not that Colorado's that far. It's about a 2-3 hour flight, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to deal with the altitude yet.
Right.
So
you'd want to
recover a little bit.
You would have wanted to travel a couple days ago, get used to the elevation
Exactly.
first.
right.
So
just highlight a couple things. # bring back Marshall as a replacement for Paul.
Wow.
That's from Jason Hillier.
Okay, that's the second bit of hate I've got, because Joe was sitting in for me, and he's like, "Why is he?"
Yeah.
Man,
and then what was the other one? I lost it. Oh, Timu. Timu's in the house again. He woke up at 5 a.m.
Oh wow.
Timu's in Finland.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not Switzerland or Sweden.
Not to be confused, of course. Hey Timu, thanks for popping in, bud. We appreciate it.
Yep. So how about we do that? We'll do the roll call of where you're watching from and how you found us.
There's already 109 people watching, so it's a good time to do it.
Right.
And actually, while you guys are typing all that stuff out, I also wanted to give a quick shout out to a guy at the Silver Creek Sportsplex. His name is Corey. He was helping to referee the Mites practice scrimmage thing today, and he saw my son Jace kind of fell on his stick. It jabbed him in the gut there, and he wasn't feeling too good. Sat on the bench, and the kid came over, and he says, "Hey, is he okay?" I said, "Yeah, he just stick to the stomach." And he goes, "Cool, okay. Well, hey, by the way, I love your show." I was like, "Oh." So yeah, Corey is a listener of the show. So thank you, Corey, for supporting the show. I went back to the car, grabbed a couple stickers, and gave him a couple stickers. So
cool.
Yeah.
Can you give a shout out to my girlfriend Jen? I'm a huge hockey fan. I'm trying to get her interested in the Sharks. I think this would be a nice domino to fall to get this ball rolling. Sure. Hi. Love the
Also,
show. Go Sharks.
Just
Take her to the game. Now's the time. So.
What's that?
I was gonna say take her to the game. Now's one of the
Yeah.
times.
Yeah,
to
if
go.
you can afford to go to a game, if you're nearby, definitely take her to a playoff game, because that will get you hooked.
What was it? Somebody the other night was like, "I went to Game 7 from our first game," and it's like, you set the
Yeah.
bar a bit high.
Way
Yes.
high, yeah, for sure. No, hey Jen, glad to have you joining us on the stream there, and I hope you love and enjoy Sharks hockey, because for me it's the best sport in the world. So,
Fan V Sant. He says hi, Paul. I wonder if that's him.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Like as you were talking about,
Yeah.
that came through.
Oh, okay, cool.
So going back real quick, Jason agrees with you, Paul, and says probably game 2 is important to win, because they don't want to go back to you don't want to go back to Colorado with any sort of momentum either. So
That's exactly what happened with Calgary too.
Mm-hmm.
Calgary lost game 2, and then lost the 2 home game or the
away games.
games. They won in Colorado, so then they had a 3-1 commanding lead going into game 5.
Yeah, well, and it's also familiar to us. We had game 1 against Vegas, and then split at home, and then going into what's it called, the Fortress or whatever. That place is a tough place to play in. You lose 2 straight there, and you got to bring it home and win out, right? So.
Hey, JT Shark, real quick, $2. Have you seen the shade being thrown on Twitter?
Yes.
And we did see that earlier. I thought it was pretty good. And what was great was if you go down further into the channel, or that one chat, I'm assuming this is on the that's how you kill off a 4-minute penalty kind of talk.
Yeah.
Well,
Colorado even replied, or their arena replied with like, "I know we're playing you guys, but that was good."
Yeah.
It was awesome.
there was one yesterday that the Barracuda sent out. You
yeah.
saw that
I didn't
one.
see the Barracuda one.
So the
no.
Barracuda one, the Vegas Knight said, "Cleaning out our lockers, super sad.
Oh.
Send pictures of puppies." The Barracuda sent a picture of Barclay Goodrow holding a puppy. like of all the players, it was Barclay Goodrow. So in teal.
Well, it was
Yeah.
it was in the.
Well, he was in the Barracuda jersey, right?
at the time. Yeah, so they had some event they did with
Years ago.
Yeah,
right.
with the Barracuda players, in which Marc-Eduard was one, and they had like some puppy day or something like that. And so they sent those pictures. It was, oh my gosh.
The one other one, and I will. This is the one time I will ever thank anyone with the Kings organization, was the Bailey, their mascot.
Yeah.
They replied, "Oh, clean out our lockers. It's so tough right now." And Bailey replied, "I'd rather instead of pictures of puppies, I'd rather get a picture of you guys cleaning out your lockers." Yeah. And I was just like, "Oh, thank you. That was amazing."
So much hate towards Vegas. It's fantastic. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go through some of the roll calls here. 1:05 a.m. here in Ohio.
Oh, wow.
Branham and Pearl. What's up, John Doe?
There you go.
In Manhattan, Kansas tonight. I didn't know there was a Manhattan, Kansas. That's fantastic. San Jose, Goodyear, Arizona, watching from the Sharks Cove in Toronto, Canada. Zach Croft. Hello, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Wisconsin, close to Joe Pavelski's hometown. That's Bone Diggity, 7777. Love these names.
I for a second I thought you were saying the next to the hometown. It's Bone Diggity.
No, sorry.
Like,
that's the
no,
name.
it's Plover.
From near Vancouver, British Columbia, found you on YouTube on recommended videos.
Nice.
Niagara Falls, Ontario, Sharks territory. Chandler, Arizona. I'm an East Coast Sharks fan. I lose sleep for this team. Go Sharks, go.
Don't we all?
Watching again from Bozeman, Montana.
Nice.
This is the one going to Game 3, and he's going to be driving 12 hours.
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
Wow, awesome, man.
It just jumped on me. San Francisco. I'm not going to read the rest of that. Texarkana, as usual. You want me to read that? Yeah. Fin Factor makes my body tingle. I'm glad we can do that. Thank you.
Factory, yeah.
Am I the only one who doesn't hate the Avs any more than I used to when Sakic and Forsberg were there? Game 1 felt like a regular season game.
It really did.
I was saying that too. Like this happened to me a couple years ago when we beat the Kings, and it's again because I hate the Kings. Mm-hmm. Anytime you beat that team and you move on to the next round, it's like, oh, we're playing these guys and we're getting beat, but you know what? It's not the Kings. And that's right now. It's like it's not the Knights anymore.
Right, and that was just it. It's like anytime anything was going on with the Vegas Golden Knights in that series, I was just, God, I hate this team. God, I can't stand them, And then they score, and it makes me so mad, right?
Right.
Like overly mad.
Yeah.
And when we score, I'm like overly excited, right?
Right.
But
like
then
2-1
with
today,
Colorado, I mean, I'm excited when we score goals, but it was, it wasn't nearly as well. I guess the last thing I'm coming off of is that Game 7 live, so it's kind of hard to top that. But like, when Colorado scored, it was like,
And it's also, I mean, this.
Okay, we're still here.
Some perspective for myself. This is Game 1. I know there's at least 3 more games to be played.
Yeah.
Right. So they're down 2-1, and I'm like, okay, well, we got 2 periods to go, and
right.
So it's just easier to swallow. But I saw a couple of good questions here. So I was going to say, you guys want to talk about the game a little bit.
Sure.
So started off 1-0 on whose goal?
That was
Grubauer.
No,
Grubauer's the goalie.
Not Grubauer, but no, it was Gerbach or something.
Gabriel Bork.
Yeah, Gabriel
Bork. There you go.
From Makar and Jost.
Yeah, and on that play you can see Justin Braun kind of swing and a miss. He just he tried to clear it, and he was an inch maybe off from being able to get that stick on the puck. And even then, I think Jones almost got it. He was really close to making that save. So I don't know if you guys are following us on Twitter. If you're not, it's at the Fin Factor, same as on Facebook, and Instagram is at Fin Factor. On Twitter account though, I was pushing out constantly like, hey, that was a great save by Jones. Hey, there was another great save by Jones. Jones with a nice save there. I just kept pushing it out whenever there was a big one, not for every single save, but when there was a big one. And I was going to basically go back and kind of count up the amount of times that I tweeted it out, just because I see how much hate that Jones has been getting, right? And I just wanted to be able to pump out like, hey, there's some appreciation tweets. He's doing well. He's keeping them in this game. So, it would have been one of those things where it's like if the Sharks couldn't put the puck in the net, and then everybody goes, well, Jones couldn't keep the puck out of the net either. He's terrible. And then I can go back and say, okay, look how many times I went through and said, gosh, what a save. So, he was close on getting that one there, the first one that went in. Unfortunately, it was, a rebound that he kicked out. Justin Braun couldn't clear it, and Bork beat him to the puck, put it past him, and again, just that close. But, it makes it 1-0. So, but the nice thing was the Sharks came right back, and they scored another goal to tie it up.
Guth.
Yeah, Guth Nyquist. If you didn't catch that, I put that on Twitter too. If you didn't catch that, it's because when he bumped his teeth out, or when he got his teeth knocked out, then he scored a goal. Everyone's like, yeah, it's Guth Nyquist. I was like, you guys are terrible, but I'm using it. So
that was amazing.
Apparently, Manhattan, Kansas is where Kansas State is, and I'm getting flack for not knowing that. Sorry, I don't know a lot of
I'm
colleges.
not a geographer. I'm sorry, guys.
I
live in a bubble.
Zach Croft had a question. Thoughts on Gambrell, and do you think he has developed enough to make the Sharks roster next season?
Honestly, okay, here's what I think. I think it depends on, again, the whole contract situations, right, with Erik Karlsson and whatnot. What they're going to need to do is fill the roster with players that aren't going to cost a lot. So if that's Dylan Gambrell, then yes, he's developed enough to play. So it's a situation of money more so than of skill, right? And this is why I think if they do sign Erik Karlsson and they have a very small amount of cap space to work with, you're going to see a guy like Jonas Donskoi get re-signed because he's probably not going to command a whole lot of money. He's been in scratch, right? So will Dylan Gambrell play? Maybe. It depends. We'll have to see what happens with all the contracts situations, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does. I don't see him as like the fourth line guy. I wouldn't mind him kind of taking over on like that third line role if he can, show that he can dish the puck and be a playmaker and all that jazz. But we'll see how it goes. That's really going to be something that we see, after the contracts are all signed on next season. So that's my take.
Cool. This is cool. Nathaniel Arias, as an Avs fan from Denver, enjoy your channel. I'm glad I found it. Always excited to find a hockey channel. Thank you for being cordial as well and not being a troll like we got from the Vegas fans.
Oh, is that? I wasn't sure if you were telling him that or if that was still part of his comment.
No, I'm saying I'm
but again, we got some good Vegas Knights fans. As well.
Yeah.
Like
right.
There was a few. I think a lot of the bitterness came in Game 7, and we would have gotten actually. I think no matter what, Game 7 win, Game 7 loss, there would have been a lot of people trying to make everyone's night worse.
Yeah.
Well, and again, that's kind of how we're not trying to slam anybody. We're not, and again, we're a family-friendly channel, so you're not going to get any of the profanity and all that stuff. So, but yeah, we just kind of take a look at the game for what it is, and we're not as emotionally up and down, I think, as a lot of fans are. We kind of take things for just how they are, and if Colorado's playing well, Colorado's playing well, and we'll say it. If Vegas is playing well, I mean, hey, after the Game 7 win, I came back over here, and one of the first things out of my mouth was, if you're a Vegas Golden Knights fan, hold your head up high. Your team played really well. They blew it, but they played really, really well. They did.
So glad they blew it.
They gave themselves a chance, right, to come back after that whole.
Blew it.
Well, sure, but they gave themselves a chance to come back with that fourth goal. So I was basically telling them, hold your head up high. I'm not here to grind you into the ground. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to have high expectations and then getting bumped out. So it's not fun.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see. You got something lined up, Joe?
Well, no. Somebody else was asking about Gambrell. So, if he makes the roster next week. But they also noticed that in the third, it looked like they might have shortened up the bench. He didn't get as much time in the third.
Gambrell and Joachim Ryan, I believe, didn't
that's
get many.
Kind of understandable. That's not an injury thing. That's just a confidence thing or a experience thing.
That's Pete DeBoer does that. He doesn't really trust the rookies as much, and especially in playoff games. So I feel like that's to be expected, but. I don't think it really mattered. The Sharks can handle it. I think the top guns, the big boys, know how to play and are used to longer minutes. So I don't think it was that big of a deal. Yeah,
I think the thing to remember is, and it's something that I've been saying, or we've been saying, pretty much the whole time, is that, yes, there's a line 1, 2, and 3, but it's not like the top line is the best line, the second line is the pretty good line, the third line is kind of like a scoring line, but no, it's just 3 scoring lines, right? Mm-hmm. And we talked about the mismatches. Aaron brought this up I don't know how many times during our shows, where teams are going to have a hard time matching up against that Joe Thornton line, the quote unquote third line, right? Because they don't have 3 lines that can match up to our depth, right? And we saw that tonight too. That they just can't seem to match up.
They're smaller and younger, too. I think that was part of the Avalanche problem is they're just not going to be able to keep up with the big boys.
Yeah.
It is a much different game. It's not as grindy as it would be with Calgary.
Right.
Even Vegas is a little bit bigger than the Avs.
Yeah.
There's a good question here. Do you think that the McKinnon line will be more difficult to deal with than the Stone line was for Vegas? Now, I think it's a little different. I think skill-wise, I think the McKinnon line is better than the Stone line. I think the Sharks will have a harder time, but Colorado doesn't have an answer for that second, third, and fourth line.
Right.
Other than that one line. So they're kind of really a one-line team. Their depth just isn't quite there, and I think that will be the difference maker because the Sharks can focus on shutting that down, especially on home ice when they have the last change. They're going to be able to match up who they want.
They're going to throw Vlasic out there every time.
Maybe we'll see in the away games, the ones in Colorado, It's so distracting. The ones in Colorado, you'll see them get more chances, I bet, because they will be able to match up against our guys a little bit better for their sake. So maybe we'll see a little bit more points coming out of them in games 3 and 4.
I got a question here from Sam Stevens. Great show again, guys. What's your thoughts on the double minor for Dylan's high stick? Vegas will be furious. Sam from England.
Okay, so here's the difference. It was a cross check, and you even said this. I'm gonna give full. You want to just say it? Oh, I was gonna give you full marks for what I'm about to say.
No, I was saying he's from England. You guys.
Well, okay, he's from England. That's not what he's trying. Anyway, the difference really is that he gets cross checked in the face. Yes, he was bleeding, and then he went to the bench, got patched up, and came right back out for the power play. Right?
Pavelski probably.
Pavs was asleep on the ice.
Should have gone to the hospital.
Right?
He didn't. I don't know if he did or not.
I mean, yes, blood, but not just like blood from a nose. It was like leaking out the side of his head while he was passed out unconscious. There's a difference. And I understand the whole mentality. I don't want to go too much more into this because we're just beating a dead horse here. But there's a difference, right? When a ref sees that happening, and maybe he puts a couple more things together in his head that didn't actually happen. Like they said they got cross-checked to the face. Well, he didn't. But it was a cross-check. And even though he fell over Stastny, he wouldn't have. The result of the injury was from the cross-check. He was bleeding. He was unconscious. He did get carted off. He did not come back. So, yeah, I can see them calling that a major. The difference here is the guy was basically okay and ready to go after the cross-check to the nose.
Right.
Didn't knock him out. He wasn't out of the game. Think of it as any other penalty where you bleed. High stick and he's bleeding.
High stick and losing some teeth.
Double minor,
he's still
right?
Back.
So I think the right call. I mean, for me, that is the right call. He got hit in the face. He started bleeding. That's immediately you're thinking double minor. If he was passed out from that, okay, you want to call a major, go ahead. But
yeah, if he cracked his face and he breaks his cheekbone or something or his jaw, then yeah, that's gonna be a major. It's more or less just a high stick. Cross-checking, high stick, draws blood, double minor. It's fine. So.
Hey, so
cool.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys watched this. Wait, I know exactly that you guys did. Lebanc looked amazing, and I was not expecting that go-ahead goal at all. And I'm pretty sure that no one on Colorado was either.
Yeah.
It's nice getting a goal in the last minute.
It wasn't just a goal.
I know that was a.
And that was not the goal in the last minute. The goal in the last minute was what Burns from the point, right?
Right.
So this was the goal with 2 or 3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Where he went.
Oh, what? I thought that one he got was.
No,
I mean, I can look it up, but I thought it was earlier.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I'll tell you right now.
But the Lebanc goal was just dirty. He brings the puck in across the blue line on the right-hand side, cuts across, and as he's going across the center of the ice there, right, it's still kind of close to the blue line, he does this little move where he just puts the puck in between. Who's Rantanen?
Nutmegs. Yeah, nutmegs Rantanen.
Nutmeg?
That's a soccer term.
Okay.
Nutmeg.
Okay, to put it. Okay, all right, fine. He nutmegs him or something. I don't know, whatever. So he puts it right between his legs, and just you can see Rantanen tries to throw the hit on him, and he just kind of pulls his body off to the side and sidesteps him. And so he basically a loose puck deke, right? He puts the puck between his legs, walks around his leg, picks the puck back up, and Rantanen is just going the wrong direction now. Comes in more on the left-hand side, and Aaron and I saw this too. It's just the way that he cuts. He cuts right towards the middle, right? And I keep telling my son this. Jace, I'm sure he'll be listening to this at some point in the car. We call it the train turn because you put your feet one in front of the other like a train, right? So when you do that, you lean and turn your shoulders, and it cuts really sharp. So for Jace, he did a train turn, buddy, and on the puck on his backhand, and he just brought it straight into the middle of the ice, high slot area, and he just fires it. And man, what a snipe! I mean, it was one of those ones where it hit the corner. I didn't think it went in at first, because it looked like it just hit the corner like the pipes, and it came out. But another one of those ones where it just tucks in the corner of the net and comes right back out. Beautiful, beautiful goal.
And Lebanc was known for his sniping skills.
Yeah.
When he was drafted, I guess, and as a young player up and coming. So we hadn't really seen a lot of his goal scoring prowess until I'd say as of late. He's been mainly a setup kind of guy and a playmaker. I think his confidence is coming through, especially after that game 7, where you had a goal and 3 assists on the same power play. I think his confidence is showing, and he's taking a little bit more chances. That move was a little risky because if Rantanen gets his foot on that puck, that's going back the other way because it was so high and it was right on the blue line, right? He was dangling around the blue line. So a little risky, but it pays off, and it worked, and he has a great snipe of a shot. So he's starting to use it more and feeling more confident. I do like him because he does, to me, I feel like we were talking about this, he goes into the slot more. He takes the puck into the middle and gets that difficult, high danger chance.
The goal in Game 7. I mean, Erik Karlsson kind of drew one of those players away because he has the name Erik Karlsson on his back, right? But I mean, that allowed Lebanc to just jump straight in, and he took it. He took the lane. He
attacked the net.
Right,
basically.
he did exactly. He saw it and he went for blood, and it worked. Right, so same kind of thing in this situation. And you made a point that he's kind of known for his sniping ability, but on the Sharks he's been playing as the playmaker. Maybe 5-on-5 he hasn't really shown as much during the regular season, but DeBoer called him elite on the power play, and he said just take a look at his advanced stats and you'll know what I'm talking about. So maybe that's why we see him more as the playmaker, even though he was kind of known as like the goal scorer and the sniper, because every time he gets the puck on the power play he's always looking cross ice, or again looking to bank it off the boards and go back to either Karlsson or Burns, whoever happens to be back there. Usually it's Burns. So he's usually trying to set something up, and maybe that's why.
Upper Bowl Hockey, Kevin Lebanc is earning his paycheck with us. I take back almost every bad thing I said about him. He's a beautiful player, and I think he was a 6th round pick. You guys said that he is 6th round, right? What a steal.
Yeah.
Isn't that
6th round, 171st overall?
Yeah. Isn't that hilarious though? In halfway through the season, everyone was ready to trade Kevin Lebanc. Everyone was talking about who we can pick up from the trade deadline.
We said it too, but we said it because it only made sense since he wasn't playing so well at the time.
Well,
and there was a space there.
Yeah, so we said it makes sense because we already have a good amount of depth on the team, and if you're going to lose a guy, remember we gave up Chris Tierney to go get Erik Karlsson, but Chris Tierney was kind of like one of those third-line guys, right? Well, Lebanc wasn't really panning out in their top 9, so if they wanted one of those players we were willing to give up, that's got a high upside, Lebanc does, and it made sense that would be maybe a guy that we'd be willing to give up, but we weren't saying it that way. I mean, we were saying it that way. Other people were saying, get rid of him, he's terrible, blah, blah, blah.
We weren't saying it because he was terrible.
Right, we were saying it because he was good, he has upside, and he's got value.
Other teams would know that too.
Right, whereas the fan base, because he's terrible, we should trade him. But it's like, if he's terrible, what are you going to trade him for? Nobody wants him if he's terrible, so you must be wrong. Anyway, I don't want to, anyway. It's just hilarious how quickly that changes, right?
To me, it's amazing that they drafted him so late, because you don't really find high-skilled players like that late. It's very rare. So to me, he seems like such an elite scorer. I mean, maybe it was because he was so one-sided. His other game wasn't there. His defensive part, not playing the full, was it 200 feet game or something? Is that what they call it? So I think he's definitely gotten better. He's improved so much this season because he was in the doghouse before the All-Star game.
Oh yeah.
DeBoer did not trust him. Was pulling him. He's also the guy that serves all the penalties for all the bench minors, which they talked about a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
too many men. It's a good bet. Kevin Lebanc's going in there.
Yeah. But anyway, he's really gotten the trust, I think, of DeBoer and getting a little bit more minutes, and especially on the power play. He's on the #1 power play.
Yeah.
On a very dangerous power play team.
Yeah. I saw 2 things. C-Note asked a long time ago, and I want to bring it up. He was like, any status on basically all the injuries? I think all of them are still just called day-to-day. So that's Pavelski, Donskoy, Haley, and one other.
Well,
Shimmick.
I mean,
no. Well, he wouldn't be day-to-day. He's IR.
Yeah,
right?
no.
So there was somebody earlier. I was looking at the game stats or whatever, but I think everyone's just considered still just day-to-day right now. So
here's the thing: we have a show and it looks awesome and great, but we're not actually like insiders or anything. So we don't have any injury update news that
it's
you
just
probably
what I
wouldn't
saw
have already heard,
ESPN.
like through Kurz or through anybody else. So. I mean, like I said, we are just fans, just like you guys. So the information that you get is pretty much the same as the information that we get. We may have our thoughts on it that maybe you guys are interested in, and thank you for tuning in for that. But in terms of having an inside track on that information, at least at this point in time, we don't have anything over and above what you guys probably already have access to. So
Aaron, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, Jones is 1 up on Bobrovsky so far.
Ooh. Bang.
Well, we're not out of the woods yet.
I
Aaron.
think Boston's gonna destroy Columbus.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought it was a closer game than I thought it was going to be, though.
But they still didn't win.
They still didn't win. It doesn't matter, right? It's not horseshoes.
It doesn't exactly. It doesn't matter by how much. It just matters if you got the W. Right.
Doesn't matter how. It just.
Yeah. It just matters that.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what other questions do we have?
Well, we have a lot. But
Fire away.
I haven't read any of them.
Joe's behind now.
I'm too much in the conversation here. The fan from Colorado, Avs have to win game 2, but it will be tough, especially if they play anywhere close to how they played tonight.
No, and I'll disagree with you there because again, my philosophy being
Game
the
4.
home teams. You're expecting that the home teams are going to win their games. Now, obviously, that doesn't bode well for Colorado because they only have 3 home games, right? So, in which case, yes, you're going to have to steal one, right, a home game. But that's kind of my philosophy on it. Could
also be game 5 though.
It could be, yeah, sure. It could be game 5, could be
5
game
or
7.
7,
Doesn't
right.
matter, yeah. You're going to have to win one in San Jose to be able to take the series. So you're going to have to upset basically winning at home at some point.
Right. So you have to win your home games. Is at least your philosophy is they don't have to win the first 2 games, but they do have to win their home games.
Yeah, sure. And again, that's not an absolute. You don't have to. I mean, we've seen there was a series with LA that we had, San Jose and LA. Where
I don't want to talk about it.
The away team won every single game.
That.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So I
remember that because I was at all those home games.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But so it's not an absolute. Don't get me wrong. But the way I see it is, you're expected to win your home games, right? So, are we ahead in the series by the numbers? Yes. In my mind, not really, because we're expected to win that game. If we win game 2, okay, we're up in the series and I'm feeling pretty good. But again, I'm expecting that we're supposed to win game 2. So. If we come out of Colorado tied up after 4 games at 2 games apiece, do I feel down about it? Maybe because we're just coming off of 2 losses, but at the end of the day, both teams did what they were supposed to do. So you're saying Colorado needs to win this game? Nah, I wouldn't say they need to win this game. It would be very nice for them if they did, because you always want to steal one. But I wouldn't get too down on your team just because, even if they go down 2 games to none, because they still have to go play in their own barn.
Yeah, it could always end in a game 7 in overtime if they split,
sure.
right?
I hope not.
A couple questions here.
My heart can't take it.
I don't think I can take that.
I could again, going back to the Southwestern U.S. teams for some reason, like I'm okay. Anyone else but the Knights and the Kings right now. I don't know why. It's just
You know what it is? I don't fear the Knights or the Kings. I genuinely dislike the Knights and the Kings.
I think because we've seen them so much.
But that's what it is. It's just I'm so tired of seeing the same teams over and over, and it's not because they have our number and they beat us, and that's why I don't want to see them anymore. It's just I'd like to see a little variety. I wouldn't mind playing, I don't know, Dallas now and then.
Well, it's nice playing Colorado because we haven't really played.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the 5th meeting though, right? In the playoffs at least.
But the last time was
a long time ago.
Maybe 10 years ago. Almost.
I mean, look, there's only 16 teams in the conference, right?
Yeah.
So. And only 8 of them are going to make it into the playoffs. So you're bound to see some of the teams the same time. It's just seeing the same team every year. It's just boring. I don't like this format. I'd rather go to the 1 through 8 format.
I agree. And reseeding after the first round.
Sure, yeah.
The second round because they don't reseed right now.
Yeah, exactly. They keep it within that division or within that group.
Yeah. There is a lot of chat. I mean, like we're still playing the Avs, right?
Yeah.
But there is chatter like, who would you rather play, Dallas or St. Louis? And real quick, Jeremy Ryan saying Boston would be ideal for Jumbo's story. And Aaron, you have Sharks Boston in your bracket.
I do. I thought Boston. To me, I thought it was going to be up to. Boston would have played Tampa Bay in this round had Tampa Bay won. So I had Boston beating Tampa Bay and Tampa losing in that round. So
thank you very much to Pascal Garofalo.
Pasquale,
yeah. Thank you very much, Pasquale Garofalo, for the 279. Do it for the Joes. And that one is definitely not for me. That is for Joe Pavelski and Joe Thornton. Thornton, he was on fire tonight. I loved his play.
That third line, the jumbo line was clicking tonight, man. Clicking. I loved, I put a tweet out about this one too, how the tables have turned. And basically what I was saying was Sorensen assisting Jumbo on his goal. Like, what happened there, right? So I usually see it the other way around, but it was great. It was great seeing Sorensen come down the wing, and it looked like he was going to take the shot and just kind of look off, Jumbo, and all of a sudden the pass goes across. And, I thought for a second there that Jumbo might not score that goal just because it looked like he was, again, grabbed it, kind of dusted it off a little bit. And I figured, and I said this a couple times during the season, too. I remember Hurdle had a goal where he catches the puck, and it's like, if you one-timed it, it would have been right in. But he catches it, dusts it off a little bit, and then he shoots it the opposite direction, and it went in. And it's kind of the same thing for Jumbo tonight. He just grabbed it, looked at the net, found a spot, and popped it in. So a great goal by him.
Canadian dollar.
What's this?
Is it Canadian?
It's Canadian dollars.
They're talking about Canadian dollars.
The
Looney?
super chat was the Canadian dollar.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't see that.
$2.79.
I was just
It's
excited.
the California dollar.
I was like, oh.
It popped up blue. I was excited.
I know. No, it's cool.
On that Thornton goal,
Sorry.
I completely thought that he had waited too long. Because he came across and I was like he waited for the goalie to set. And then somebody who I don't know if I was talking to you guys or if I was texting, and it was like, I bet you he was like, okay, I'll wait for him to sit down, and then I'll shoot it hard 5-hole so that it gets a rebound and somebody else can score so I can get an assist.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think he was waiting for him to open up because he had to stretch across the goal, and he probably assumed.
I think he knows a lot more about hockey than I do, so
Yeah.
I'm going to let him do
was
whatever he
gonna
wants.
take away the top up high, right, with his
Right.
glove, and so he waited for him to open up and shoot 5-hole. It was a great snipe, man.
Yeah.
That was a goal scorer's goal right there.
The 39-year-old still got it, man.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
about that?
and that's what the guys on TV were like, oh, he's only 39
Yeah.
out here, And there was another one on the radio. They were like another comment about Jumbo. And they're like, that's something for this the third line of Avs to learn. Jumbo comes in and steals the puck and basically makes you look like a fool or whatever he did. I don't remember what they were talking about, but it's like this is a guy who was playing before you were born.
Right.
He's like, how often do you get that chance, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just amazing. Yeah, it's amazing what he's done in his career. It's amazing that he's still doing it, and at a high level. It's just an incredible player, an incredible person. If you've ever had the opportunity to meet the guy, Zach, if you're still there, I don't know if you're going to be able to come down for a game or not. That'd be great if you do. Definitely, I'll show you where to go to wait outside the parking lot for them to finish a practice, and you can meet the guys. I think they would love it. So.
Yep. There's a question in here. Who won the game? I don't know if you just logged in and you're from some other country, and I don't know if it's a joke, but the Sharks won 5-2.
Oh, maybe they come to you guys for news.
Yeah, maybe.
They could be.
Yeah, the Sharks.
We get some of that from in here.
Sharks ended up winning 5-2. It was 4-2, and they got an empty netter at the end there. Timo Meier pot of the
There's also a question way earlier that I wanted to highlight, and I forgot. They were asking about our show. They really enjoyed the live and the interactive questions and want to know in the regular season how often we'd be doing it. What we did this season, I don't know what we'll do next season. Maybe we'll change it up and do more, but
probably not.
We were doing once a week where we record our episode that would come. We usually is a Sunday night, and we record it to come out on Monday. But before we record the episode, we would do a live for about 45 minutes or so, an hour.
Well, so for anybody who's not familiar with the format, if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome, and thank you for showing up and being here. The format for our normal show, which would be during the regular season, is to have one episode that kind of takes a look at the week, right? So we don't look at each individual game because you tend to go really high or really low based on if you won or you lost that game. So when you kind of take a step back and you look at it from a macro view, that's kind of what we've been saying about this show. You get you get a better picture for how the team is actually performing and not getting so emotional about every little thing that's going on. So that's kind of the approach that we take, and we do that once every week, and we have our show. So before the show, obviously, we do something similar to this where we just kind of nothing's going on in particular. We just say, hey, we're just going to go live right before we start filming. Anybody who wants to pop in, say hi, has a question, a comment, maybe a topic that we can talk about for that week that we didn't think about, then we can add it into the show right before we record, stuff like that. For playoffs, though, what we've decided is, basically right after the game is over, we go live, or after the third period, because we were going live during overtime periods in games 6 and 7. So that's kind of the format that we're doing now for playoffs, is basically having live formats. And then the wrap-up episode, which we already put a wrap-up episode for Series 1, or Round 1, rather, the first series that we had against Vegas. We put that one up, but that's a recorded show. There's no live commentary or anything like that. So
yeah, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
We have quotes and stuff in there.
Real quick, somebody just brought it up again, so I will bring it up again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looking behind you.
What about behind me?
What's
Jones
behind
stick.
you?
Jones stick. Oh,
The Jones stick
okay.
pulls through again.
I'll tell the story one more time.
You know what? So many
4-0
people
now?
have heard this story.
4-0?
Let's hear it.
4-0. Okay, so and sorry if you guys have heard the story. I'll condense it. Jones was using the stick in practice. Something happened. He didn't like it. It must have snapped or broke or something. And he took the stick and put it behind the bench. Grabbed a new one. Was practicing with that. Practice is over. Everybody clears out. I see the stick still sitting there. I swipe it. Then I go back. Swipe is probably not the right word to use.
You liberated.
I liberated it,
You recycled it.
from the trash can. Yes, I reappropriated the asset. There you go. And I went and I went over to after a practice one day, and I actually got him to sign it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I went up to him and I said, hey, you know, we're me and a bunch of other fans. Hey, we're all behind you, man. You know, this is after Game 4.
Hey, I found
he was
this
down.
garbage stick. Do you mind signing?
Yes, of course. I pulled this thing, out of Valhalla.
Rescued it from the depths.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I honestly believe that, it's a little bit of a confidence booster when, after you've been playing like, hot garbage according to everybody else, that, a fan comes up to you with your stick and says, hey, man, we're behind you, and I'd like you to sign this stick for me and everything else. I think it gives them a little bit of a confidence boost.
I'm sure you knew you weren't going to sell it because at that point it was worth nothing.
Yeah.
Oh.
At that point.
At that point.
I can't wait to sell this thing.
No.
No, I'm kidding. And actually, one more thing about the stick. So it has all those puck marks. I was thinking about wiping those puck marks off, but then I knew people were just going to give me,
Hey,
flack about, it doesn't stop anything.
Pasquale again said,
Pasquale?
Paul, we met at practice ice in March. He's from Canada.
Canada, eh?
Oh, okay.
Did you take a picture with him?
Maybe I did. I met a couple people from Canada. Were you from Toronto by chance? Because there was somebody from Toronto and someone was from Ottawa. So I'm not sure, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else all entirely. But yeah, so I do remember it was maybe him and his wife, if I recall. It was either him and his wife, or the other one was him and his son. There were two different folks that I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So let me know which one you are. But
Hey,
yeah.
you got a broken stick before.
Yeah, Barclay Goodrow.
It was Goodrow.
Goody.
Do you still have it?
I still have it. It's over
Yeah.
here.
Because someone
If,
just said that they have a broken hurdle stick.
If you'll indulge me for a second, I'll be right back. Let me see what I can find.
I have a non.
We should put that on the set now.
Oh, we
since he
should.
scored the game winner.
I've got a non-broken
in Game
Donskoy
7.
Here it is.
A non what?
I've got a
Oh,
non-broken
here's half of
Donskoy
it.
stick.
this is. Here we go. Barclay Goodrow. You can see the name
Digging,
right there.
looking for
Yeah.
treasure.
This is gonna go like.
Let's see the other part.
Yeah, it's carbon fiber. It's super sticky. Like there's.
Is it like tar on it?
Yeah. It's crazy.
There's the other piece.
There's the other hand.
Sticks are over there.
Hey,
There's like 4, but these are all like the old wooden
we need-
sticks that
We need an equipment
Mike
manager over
Ricci and
there.
all that. Yeah, we
Well,
do.
we
need-
have an Owen Nolan stick and it's
Well,
it's wood.
What are you doing? You're
I was gonna put
killing
it up
me.
there.
Oh my
What?
goodness.
Oh.
Here,
Hey,
here.
Paul. Yes,
So-
yes, from Toronto. He had a pregnant wife.
Yes. Those the couple I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, man. Hey, thanks for popping in. That's awesome. I have 2 pieces of stick. What?
Did she get birth?
Oh yeah. What's the status? Talk to me. Everything's good, I hope.
Did
and
you name the baby Paul?
You should have.
Unlikely.
If it's
Oh my gosh.
if it's a boy
Please
and
don't.
you haven't given birth to this child yet,
Aaron's
please
a great name.
Consider Paul. Aaron, do you want your child to have reflective head? Is this what you want? I don't think so.
People like it.
Maybe I don't know.
People love to rub it for good luck.
I have never rubbed your head for good luck.
I didn't say you. I
Okie
said
dokie.
people.
real quick, somebody was calling out earlier saying that I think it was Luke, but it was a long time ago. Jason, good job on the graphics. They're liking all the neon.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Ryan, like the community here. Glad I found this channel. Living in Las Vegas, you don't find many fans among the boys. Or
Living
fans
where?
Of the boys, that
Vegas.
is. So he's in Vegas.
He's in Vegas.
In Vegas, but
Okay.
not a lot of San Jose fans.
Yeah,
out there
that's
probably,
got to
so.
be tough. I really can't imagine that, living in another hockey city and rooting for a different team. Like
Well,
I can.
and I think it was Jeremy earlier who said they were about to put on that shark stuff and walk around. And I was like, be careful out there.
Yeah, and it's like I'm proud to be a Sharks fan, but
I think it's a little different in Vegas because there's so many out-of-town people
Yeah.
visiting all the time.
but there's also the whole thing you were talking about where they like kind of lock it down and try to make it so
That's
it's only Vegas
in
fans
the
that are
arena,
there.
yeah, they had to grow their brand. It's
Yeah.
totally understandable. Man, just think about it this way: if Vegas was like the normal, what do you call it, expansion team, and they were garbage for a decade,
Yeah.
right? It never would have grown. People wouldn't have taken to it. They would have said, "Oh, these guys are garbage. I'm not going to watch them. I'm going to root for my team when they come into town.
Right.
Because most people are transplants.
And I think that's what everyone thought was going to happen. They're like, nobody's going to actually pick up the home team. They're just going to wait until it's a. I mean, I even said this myself. It's just a bunch of people who are at conferences in Vegas. Like the people who live there aren't going to follow the teams. It's going to be people who are visiting there.
I thought casinos were going to take up all the tickets and basically make those as like giveaways to their.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they actually still do some of that, maybe in like the upper deck or whatever. But like I'm sure they still do it. But I mean, hey, they got a really good fan base out there too. But I mean, back to the question, I can't imagine really like going to, you know, like if I live in Toronto and I go to like a Maple Leafs game with my Sharks jersey on because I'm a Sharks fan, like I would imagine I would just get heckled and.
No, actually, and so
like,
I'm gonna throw some love to the VGK coverage guy.
Oh, okay.
He actually was doing interviews with Sharks fans in Vegas, and they were like, "All we hear is how ruthless and terrible the fans are." But everyone I've met today, and I think it's
nice.
And I'll blame the internet because I blame the internet for everything. The people online, because they have that anonymity, will get very angry with you.
Right.
And the people in person, they'll heckle you.
Yeah.
They'll give you a bad time. They'll boo you. But overall, everyone's out there to watch hockey. Everyone's out there to have a good time, unless too much alcohol is involved, and then that's when you hear about the problems. Right.
So before you get to yours, because I know you're pointing over here, I can't remember which fan it was or which game it was, but maybe it was the Predators one time, and I had a really good experience with these Predator fans. They were really nice and everything, and it was one of those things where it's like, you know, hey, so I'll make a bet with you. You know, first team to score. If it's your team, I'll buy you a beer, right? Or if my team scores first, you buy me a beer, and it's a good way to kind of, you know, ease the tension, you know, between you and the other fan base. I wouldn't do that during playoffs because then you're gonna make a friend that you're gonna end up hating after the fact because, like with the Vegas fans that were there, like some of them are being really loud and obnoxious, and it's just like, okay, I don't like you anymore,
right?
You know, but no, I mean, that's
Jason Hillier says, yeah, the Vegas fans of the tank are pretty nice.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
and,
I mean,
I think Nathaniel is the Avs fan, like looking forward to it. Like,
yeah,
I've never met and I've never seen another fan of another team. Well, actually, I'll take that back. Philadelphia has people show up to a Sharks Avs game, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Like.
That I don't get.
Yeah, I don't understand that one. I don't get that at all.
VGK coverage is a class act.
Yeah,
Someone
totally.
wrote that on there.
Absolutely.
I watched the live stream, and he was like, when Pavelski went down, and people were like, oh, and he was like, no, that's a serious injury, knock it off.
Right.
And like he was calling him out. Like it was good. I enjoyed that.
That's great.
Pasquale asked where he could find our merch. So here's a perfect time to plug it. So I put the link up in the feed. So if you want to click on it, you can go there.
TheFinFactor.com. There's the three little lines at the top. Tap that. Support the show. Click that.
Well, I sent them already to the collection. So if they click on it, it'll go right to it.
That's good.
And then there's 10% off right now during the playoffs, and it's called Playoff Mode.
But remember, people are listening on podcasts as well.
Oh, right.
So letting them know.
Sure.
There you go.
Spell it out.
I've spelled it out. It has been spelled.
Hello, podcast people.
Yeah, hello, podcast people who are listening to this in the future.
Give you guys some love.
I wanna try to at least talk about the game a little bit more.
Yeah.
The overall atmosphere that I saw, it almost looked like these two teams were playing chess. I mean, I know Colorado's fast, and the Sharks are beat up coming out of that last series.
Yeah.
And for the first, I didn't see the first period, so I can't tell you what happened obviously then. But in the second period, like for the first 10 minutes or so, it looked like the Colorado were just like dumping it in, making a play, and then cheating back, not letting like a rush happen or not. It was like they were feeling each other out, and then for a couple minutes, the Sharks pressured big time. And then in the third again, it was a lot of just play defensively for the Sharks. They weren't trying to get into the goal. It just seemed like they were trying to stay back, and the Avs were pressing big time. But it seemed like a much like I called it like a more polite game almost. You know, like a regular hockey game coming off of what we just saw. I didn't get to see the Calgary and Avs series, so I don't know if that whole series was like this, or if that was a more physical series, or that was just a super fast series or not. But
I didn't watch most of it, so I don't. The Calgary one, Colorado one, so I don't know. But they had more rest too, so they're not as banged up as the Sharks. But it did seem like a regular season game.
Yeah.
I think the what do you call it? The adrenaline that you get in the first game, in the first series, you're jacked up because it's playoffs and you're excited. In the second round, you're kind of like, okay, it's grinding it out. Let's just get a win here or try to, and it's not as serious. Plus, it's game one, right? It could go either way in a way. So you don't feel the pressure of, oh, we're down in the series or we're up in the series. So I think that might have a little bit to do with it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they bounce back in game two and push back harder.
Well, I mean, I think short of a Spartans bloodbath, there's nothing that would have measured up to coming off of game 7. So I mean, anything else would have been more pedestrian than what we just witnessed. In the last game.
I mean, if you look at the stats too, like you got shots on goals 28-27, right down the middle. Face-offs 50-50. Power plays, 3 opportunities for Avs. They scored on one of them. 1 opportunity for the Sharks. Like not a whole lot going on there. Yeah, penalty minutes. There's only 14 penalty minutes. I think there was 14 penalties in some of the games that we saw. Hits 28-26, block shots 16-22, and then
look at the hit stat. Wasn't that 80 plus in the first game?
Well, okay, but then again,
it was only 55.
It was a statistician, right?
Well, in San Jose.
Fair, but I think after a while, it's like with Vegas,
you're
counting more numbers because you
right, but there's not as many hits compared to
and again
series.
And again, in the game that we saw today, I didn't see anywhere near the amount of physicality or anything.
That's my point.
Like, I think it was the most physical in the third.
But Vegas is a much heavier team too. Right?
I think Vegas was trying to hurt the Sharks because they were so deep. You had to take out some of their guys in order to compete with them and to try and not injure, but
wear him down.
Yeah, bruise him up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
the next day.
Who's the bruiser on Colorado Avalanche team?
Exactly.
Matt Calvert.
Sure, and he took a slashing penalty at the end.
No, for real. I mean, that's their guy, right? I mean, that's their guy. If that's the most you have to come with in terms of your brute strength and your force, I mean, there's not a whole lot there to worry about in terms of hits. And I think that's why you don't see as many hits because they're not a team that relies on that. I think Vegas is a team that relies on that. They're a much heavier team. They're out there to bang. They want to wear you down, and then they're able to do that and lean on some of the top skill that they have in those top 2 lines. Colorado's not like that. Colorado relies on their top line to do all the heavy lifting, and everybody else just kind of survives, it feels like.
So I'm gonna circle back to that in a second, but what do you guys also think about the slash against Dylan in the last 10 seconds?
That was cowardly.
It's
is it frustration?
The tone for the next game. It's frustration, and it's kind of like hey, we're not going to be pushed around and beat up next time.
Right.
I mean, the Sharks kind of do that stuff too.
Is that an every team kind of thing?
Every team does that.
Nah, here's my problem with it. Every team does it, but most teams will do it while you're facing the guy.
Yeah,
true.
Dylan wasn't even looking at him. He was skating away, and Calvert comes up and just hacks him on the back of the calf. And it's just like, if you want to start something, start something. He hacked him and kind of turned. Just like, what is that for? And the refs, or the linesman or whatever was right there. No, exactly. Intent to injure, essentially, right? Now, I'm not calling for his head. I'm not calling for him to get slammed next game. I'm not calling for him to get suspended. I just think it's kind of a cowardly move. Like, if you got something to say to him, shove him a little bit from behind. When he turns around, you want to drop him. But you don't tomahawk a guy in the calf. That's just kind of weird.
So I do want to. I've seen that a couple times. I do want to ask about, because you said it a couple times, and I said it at end of game 7, and I think Nathaniel was like, I want to just mention though.
Yeah.
The Colorado being a one-line team, Nathaniel points out they didn't score tonight, so they're not a one-line team. And this is like I replied, I'm like, well, they're a one-line team until the other lines start to produce. And somebody replied also, and the Sharks are a 4-line team until they get shut out.
But that one line scored on the power, or they didn't score, but they assisted on the power play.
The members of that line are the ones that you're concerned with. And when the members of that line are also on the power play, then, you've not kept that line off the score sheet, per se, because they did get on the score sheet. It's just you kept them off the score sheet on 5-on-5 even strength.
It's more of that's the key to win. Sure, the Avalanche are going to score. We're not saying nobody else can score when we say they're a one-line team. It's that one line drives the wins for Colorado. You keep them off the score sheet. I don't have the stat in front of me, but if that line didn't score a goal or have any assists in any of the games in the regular season, I bet you more often than not they did not win that game. So if you keep those guys off the score sheet, you're guaranteed to win, but you're going to most likely get a win. That's what we're saying.
The probability of you winning skyrockets when you keep them to
right. And we're not saying they're not going to score.
Yeah,
we're saying they're not going to win if you control that team or that line.
line.
Well, and that's kind of what we saw last series, shutting down their main line. you have a much better chance at getting a victory.
Right. Well, and again, that's where the depth for San Jose comes into play, and it's like you can shut down the Couture line. You're still going to have to deal with the Jumbo line and Hurdle.
Yep.
You know, you can shut down the Hurdle line, but then you're still going to have to deal with Jumbo and the Couture line. And even if you have two lines that match up well against the Couture and Hurdle line, your third line's probably not skilled enough to deal with Jumbo and Lebanc and Sorensen, and we saw it tonight. Right. That line was clicking. That line basically, I mean, they potted a lot of goals. So, I mean, again, for me, the depth on this team, yeah, anybody can get shut out. Don't get me wrong. It's not like all of them are always going to be scoring all the time and we're perfect. But when we are on our game and when we are playing well, I just don't see anybody in this league or left in the playoffs that really concerns me. There was a question you asked, Dallas or St. Louis earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would probably rather play Dallas, to be honest. St. Louis, I think you said it too. St. Louis looks like the team that they thought they were when they came out of the beginning of the season, right? After free agent signings.
To me, they're similar to the Sharks because they have incredible depth on their lines. And then they have this hot goalie that's young.
Yeah.
Now the problem, and I was thinking about this the other day with the hot goalie, is he hasn't had any kind of adversity yet. If he lets in a game where he lets in 5-6 goals, right? He hasn't had to deal with that yet.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying the Sharks will do that, but what if they do? How does he handle it?
Right.
He's a young goalie. He hasn't done it before. So you're kind of waiting for that shoe to drop for him. And maybe Dallas does it. Maybe they light him up in a game. But St. Louis did win, I believe, right? So they're up 1-0 in the series right now.
I think St. Louis did, take that win, And you know, you look at Dallas, I don't want to go too far off topic here, but if you look at Dallas has that top line of Ben, Sagan, and Radulov. From there, the step down, it kind of is a bit of a step down for their next lines. I mean, those are the only three guys you ever hear about. So I feel like it's kind of in the same vein. If you shut down the McKinnon line and you're able to win the series, I think you have a really good chance of beating Dallas by shutting down that Jamie Benn, Tyler Sagan, Radulov line.
Right.
If you can. I mean, they're beastly, right? They're extremely skilled.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben's no slouch.
Big.
He's a big boy, and Radulov too, right? Mm-hmm. So you know, I don't want to look too far ahead or anything, but to answer your question from before, I would probably rather play Dallas, but you know, again, it's playoffs, and anything can happen in playoffs. We've seen Columbus Blue Jackets sweep the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I think that's just absolutely ridiculous. I've never seen anything like that.
That's bonkers.
And we saw the Avs beat the Calgary, so we had 2 8th seed
in
beat
5 games. It wasn't
Which,
like
by
a long
the way,
series.
This is the first time I think they said in NHL history every single wild card advanced,
or the top 2 seeds on both sides got knocked out in the first round.
Yeah.
That's never.
Well,
happened.
that's the same thing. It's 6-1, half dozen
like,
of the other.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, I know. It's
but also
it's a crazy year.
2 wild cards on each side, right? There's 4 wild cards total.
Yeah. So not even just the top in the conference, the top in each division got bumped.
Yep.
Just bonkers, just nuts. So there's no easy path. It doesn't really matter who you play. You're going to be banged up along the way. You still got to score your goals. We've seen a lot of times the regular season us losing to teams that we should be beating. I mean, and Tampa Bay has lost a handful of games to teams that maybe they should have beat too, and then come playoffs they get swept. Nobody saw that coming, right? So you can't try to pick and choose an easier path because you're just not going to get an easier path. There's no way around it.
There is the preseason, there's the regular season, and there's the postseason, and they are 3 separate seasons. Just like that was Smitty, right?
Completely different animals, yeah. Yep.
I'm actually interested in seeing. I have not been to the tank for any of the games yet, but I know when we were talking to Doug Bentz, he was like, they're going to have specific things for each series, and I'm interested in seeing that. And I kind of actually want to see what Colorado does for their pregame show, actually, because Vegas, went all crazy, obviously, because that's just what they do.
It's because it's
but
Vegas.
How do you even
I'd like to see how the
Vegas?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Did you watch the Vegas pregame show this
No,
year?
I saw it last year, and I assumed it was going to be the same.
I assumed it was the same. I didn't even watch.
I know they were doing the light show where the guys are drumming and
it's
all
Excalibur.
that fun stuff. So, yeah.
It's Excalibur.
Yeah.
And then they bring out your food, right? On horseback.
Medieval times.
Oh, that was the same thing.
Oh, is it? Okay. Whatever.
Aaron.
Anyway.
Too bad there's no Vegas trolls.
Yeah, I know. They're all gone now.
They're lurking under the bridge.
Oh,
They're going to come out.
Don't poke the bear. You don't need to speak.
So actually, yeah. Why don't we do this in the comments as well? How many of you guys are Colorado fans that are tuning in?
There's
I'd like to
two
see.
right now
There's a
that I've
couple.
seen is Nathaniel Arias and Tegan Burke.
Okay.
Burke says that the Avs aren't going to lose another game, and I think
The Avs aren't going to lose another game.
And Nathaniel says that thanks for the positive energy, but I think it could be done in 6 or 7. Sharks aren't just another team. But
The
again,
Sharks aren't just another team.
Right.
No, I agree.
I think it's going to be. I don't think it will be the battle that the last series was, but I do see it. I don't see it ending in 4. I don't see it ending in 5.
I also, think about it this way: Vegas is such a hard-hitting team, and so is Calgary, and Colorado is not. So the Sharks are only going to get healthier as the series goes along. Maybe we get Pavelski back. Maybe we get Donskoy back. I mean,
I think Donskoy is going to be needed this series for his speed.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we were like, why are you starting? Was it Haley over Donskoy? It's like,
right,
because it's Vegas. Now you would want to start Donskoy because he's a quick little fast guy.
Interestingly, they did play Radil and Gambrell. So Donskoy is still day to day, right?
Right.
So I wonder what's.
I bet Gambrell goes down and they keep Radil just because he's a bigger body and.
Well, do you think Donskoy comes back in? I mean, I don't know if
I would think they would stop Gambrell just because they didn't play Gambrell in the third quarter. So,
wow,
third period. Man. So I
must be getting late.
I don't think he trusts Gambrell as much as he does Donskoy in those situations. So I think it would be better to have Donskoy in if you're up 4-2, you can play him and you're not going to be worried about it.
Yeah.
Right. You dress him and use him when you need him.
Right.
Are you, both of you guys, I don't know, are you guys going to be on NHL 19 tonight?
I still have to resubscribe. I will be on it, but I don't know if I'll be on the.
Okay.
Sure. Patrick Herbal just posted.
Yeah.
He created. I was going to say it before. Patrick Herbal created. We have a lot of Xbox players, so he created the Fin Factor on Xbox. He's going to be leading it. So, same thing. Search TFF under the abbreviation, and you should find it and join it because I think right now it's just Patrick. So he just started it today. And then for the PlayStation one.
So either way, well, the PlayStation one, unfortunately, we're full. They can you can only have 20 people in a club.
Yeah.
Which is,
I didn't even know that.
I guess it's okay because you can only play 6 guys at a time, and you can't have like 2 clubs playing at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you can't have more than one group of games for your one club going on at the same time. I don't know.
You guys might need multiple clubs because
I'm thinking we might have to do like a teal club, a white club,
or
an
maybe
orange
I
club,
run
a black
one
club.
and you run the other.
Then you guys could play each other.
Pasquale asked what our usernames are.
Well, you just search, right? You just search for the club.
You can search. Well, you won't be able to join the club. He wants to play online.
So here's what I'm going to have to do, and it's unfortunate, and I apologize ahead of time. If I see people that basically aren't playing, I'm going to have to boot so that I can bring new people in. And it's not like you're gone forever, right? Yeah.
You got cut.
You got fired.
Traded.
Yeah, no. I mean, I can kind of remove some people, bring new people in, let them play as well, and if they stop playing for a while, then I can remove them and bring you back in. So it's not like once you get knocked out that you're forever gone. If I see you and you wanted to jump back on the group and you're ready to play some games or something like that, I can always bump somebody, put you back in, and whatever.
Yeah.
We can kind of make it like a revolving door. It's not like you're off the roster and you have to wait now. It's just
if we have enough, we'll start 2 teams. It could be TFF 1 and TFF 2.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think it'd be good. I honestly, I wouldn't mind having.
Someone commented earlier that they hate the jerseys, Paul, and you need to change them back to what they were before.
I'm starting a new club just so I don't have to wear your jersey.
Are you kidding me? My jersey is phenomenal. I only have so many tools. If you don't like my jersey,
I'm shocked Paul didn't do an all orange jersey.
Why isn't it orange?
Because I haven't unlocked the alternate jersey yet. Because I need more people to play to unlock my Barbie Funhouse Arena, people.
It's
okay,
true.
so
that's the only reason.
That's really what I need. If you don't like the jersey, play more, and I will happily update the jersey.
We jumped on today and played a game.
You got 5
together, and I had 5 tripping penalties. It was my first game playing. It's just too many poke checks from behind, and I learned my lesson.
No, you didn't.
I did get an assist though, so I'm a point per game player, which is nice. That's where I want to be. With 10 penalty minutes as a 2-way forward, not a power forward.
That's amazing. Yeah. Very good. So anyway, if anybody is interested in playing, I'll try kicking a few people out that haven't played any games yet. And just feel free to jump on there, and we'll all just play around. I've also started up, I don't know how Patrick is going to do it with the Xboxes. I don't know what they have, but there's like a community wall kind of thing. If you search for the Fin Factor under community on the PlayStation 4, you should be able to see that. From there, it might be easier for us to kind of coordinate with each other. So if you are interested, pop on there on that community wall and let me know, hey, I'm ready to play, or I want to join, or whatever the case is, and try to coordinate with other people. The more I see you guys coordinating with each other and being able to play games, the easier it's going to be for me to leave you on the team, because then I know you guys are going to be constantly doing it. So
right. And I was just going to say something I forgot.
Sucks, doesn't it?
I started a Twitch stream, so if you are curious and you want to watch us play, I'll get that going.
Nobody wants to watch us play. We're not so great.
Well, maybe we can record it and we can put some clips on here.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Maybe they can give us some super chat money for some lessons.
We'd lose half our followers because they're like, I don't care about video game hockey.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
All
Any
right.
other comments, questions, concerns, anything else? We're good? Or?
No.
All right.
I think after game one, we're all doing. I mean, obviously, Sharks fans are doing good, but Avs fans have nothing to complain about. It's game one.
Yeah.
Right. So
Well,
it's
yeah, and again,
You're supposed to win your
and
home
again,
games.
I really
Yeah.
again, it's a philosophy for me, right? You're kind of expected to win your home games. So again, Avs fans, if you guys go down 2-0 in this series right out the hop, I wouldn't worry too much.
I mean, look at the Calgary series.
Yeah.
They lost game one and then won 4 in a row.
Yep.
So the Sharks shouldn't be coasting at all. They should be ready to play in game 2.
no,
Yeah.
they need to stay on the gas the whole time.
I mean,
And
this
it
is
was
a Shark show. Let's forget about the Avs for a second.
Okay.
What are the Sharks' keys to winning game 2?
It's always been the same thing for me. Strong defensive play in front of Martin Jones. Everyone's always been saying, "Oh, Martin Jones is terrible. He sucks. He can't stop a breakaway. He's not clutch." Okay, if you believe that, then why do we keep giving up breakaways? Why do we keep giving up 2-on-1s? Why do we keep putting him in these situations where he's supposed to be making these high danger saves that an elite goaltender would? If you recognize that he's not elite, so
I can't trust this dog around all this food.
Yeah.
Let's stop putting the dog around the food.
Thank you. So, learn what you have to deal with, and put yourself in the best position to win based off of what you have. Stop wishing that you had something other than what you have, right? Martin Jones is not an elite goaltender. We never claim that he is. So that to me is the key. The key is going to be locking it down in those high danger areas, keeping the play to the outside. If I think it was our last recorded show, episode number 46. If you take a look at that episode, there's a section where I'm talking about the heat map for game number 6 of the series, and you can see there's like 58 shots or 58 saves that Martin Jones made on 59 shots. He only let one of them in. And that one was really close in. But if you take a look at the heat map, there's tons of green around the outside, and basically that means they had a shot here, a shot here, a shot here, a shot here, and it's all the way around the outside. And so there's a ton of shots that were taken, and there's a ton of saves that were made, but the majority of them were lower danger, right? So that for me is going to be the key to the series, especially against a team like Colorado, who's got that extremely high skill top line, right? When they go into Colorado and they have last change, that's where it's going to be, imperative that you get the matchup as best you can, and when you don't, really try to force that play to the outside.
To me, it's kind of the same stuff. We're usually on the same page.
Sure.
Team defense, make sure Jones isn't getting left high and dry. Limit those high danger scoring chances. Colorado has a lot of speed, similar to Vegas. And what I think what their strategy was for Vegas is to kind of clog up that neutral zone. Don't let them come in with speed. Kind of hanging a defender back a little bit just to give that little bit of space to slow them down even more. Maybe even get a little bumps in there so they slow down.
Yeah.
Getting sticks in passing lanes. Just kind of clogging up that middle so they don't have a lot of speed. I think that's going to be key. I think what we heard on the radio on the way over here is the Couture line was up against the McKinnon line, and those two are just basically going to neutralize each other out, right? And if they can do that, I think that's the key to winning the series is to keep that line out. So the Sharks should focus on winning their home games, going up 2-0 in the series, going into Colorado, try and steal one of those games in Colorado to come out and close in Game 5. That should be the strategy.
Yeah.
Not saying they're going to close out in 5, but that's what they should focus on.
And that's why they call it stealing a game, because again, in my mind, you're supposed to win your home game. So and that's exactly why they say it's stealing a game.
Very difficult place to play physically because of the altitude, especially when you get to overtime. So stay away from overtime.
Very good
being
points.
Colorado.
If I were to add one other thing, I would say, stay out of the penalty box, just like Zach Croft always says, right? Against a team like this, they've got that really dangerous line, and it's going to be that much more difficult to stifle them when you're a man down.
Half their goals came off of the power play in the series so far.
There you go. So, yeah.
Either of you guys going to game 2?
No. I think I might be done going to games just because I kind of want to be here for the show. Unless it is like another game 7 type situation,
head out that way,
then I might see if I can claw my way in. Otherwise, the little ticket group that we have, I'll probably say, just don't worry about me for the next round or the next 2 rounds. And if we go to the Cup final, then I'll be telling you that I want those tickets.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I let you guys have the other rounds.
Yeah.
Now I want my tickets.
And Lucy, if you happen to be listening, it's going to cost a lot more this time.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we all wrapped up. We're good to go.
So.
Hey, guys, thanks again for all of your comments and questions. We really do appreciate the live comments that we get going on here. It's been so much fun being able to do this with you guys. We hope that you do subscribe so that you can come back and know when we're doing this for the next game. And even if you don't subscribe, it's basically right after the game is over. So please go ahead and pop back in because, again, we love doing this with you guys. I actually like doing this more than the recorded content. So it kind of keeps you on your toes because you have to kind of think on your toes, right? So
by the way, somebody mentioned this, and so I'll remind everyone here. It looks like the Sunday game is the early game, so it'll be 7:30 Eastern, but it's 4:30 Pacific.
So all the East Coast people will be happy because they'll be awake when it starts.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Although Finland is probably going to be like, really bad,
brutal.
Sorry, Timu.
They'll have to stay up late instead of getting up early.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Jens will go to sleep. I think that was the person who went to bed three down.
Oh yeah.
Down 3-0. Woke up to an overtime one.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's awesome.
Anyways.
Okay, cool. Hey guys, again, thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it, and we will see you guys
Sunday
4:30. Well, Sunday. So what? 7, 8.
Sunday post game.
Yeah, I'd say 8
subscribe
PM.
and you'll know.
Yeah.
There you
go.
All right.
Etc.
Subscribe and you'll know. Anyway, thanks guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.